So yeah, so we're still on the same concept, linear equations, and we're still with slope-intercept form. So our objective, I can write and graph linear equations using slope and intercept form. In slope and the y-intercept. So today we're going to continue with a couple more things that we need to add to what we started with yesterday. Okay. So we already know what slope-intercept form is that correct? Which is what? Y equals mx plus b. We got this, right? I gave you guys examples, non-examples. We came up with some hashtags. From there we wrote steps. And the first 4 steps, we said that these 4 steps were to graph. What are they? You solve for y and write in the slope-intercept form. You identify and plot the y-intercept. You use the slope to plot points, and you graph your line. Have we been doing that? Yes. Last night's home play, they were asking you to identify the slope, and they gave you equations that were not in slope-intercept form. So what was the obvious thing to do? Solve for y and write them in slope-intercept form. Good. Well, those of you that did not copy, that's what it said. Number 5 is to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Have we been doing that? Yes. So to get us started, to practice a little bit more, yesterday we did this one, we did this one, we did this one. So at the top left, copy this one, please, example 1D. I'm sorry? Oh, let me show you what to write. So, for example, you're going to write example 1D, and then I want you to write this, write and graph. Write and graph, and then just write an equation. You don't have to write this for right now because we already know that it's in slope-intercept form. And copy the slope and the y-intercept. Slope is -2/3, and y-intercept is 1. So the instructions for 1D is write and graph an equation given slope equals -2/3 and y-intercept 1. All right? So let's do this one together. Brian, what is the first thing we should do? Did everybody hear that? He said write your slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. That's the first thing you do. What do you do from there, Nate? Kelsey, help him out. So substitute the values for the slope. It's -2/3. And then 1. Okay, bring everything else down. Y equals -2/3 x plus 1. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, good. And let's graph this because it says write and graph an equation. So now we have our equation. Let's graph it. Where do we start, everyone? We start at 1. 1 of what? Y. Because some of you go to the x. So we start at 1 of y, which is right there. And then we're going to use a rise over run to plot points, yes? So how many steps down? Until you never write down. Negative. So we go 1, 2, and how many to the right? 1, 2, 3. Plot your point. Don't move from there and do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Plot your point. From there, do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Plot your point and graph your line. You should have your index cards with you, right? If you need one, they're over here. Grab one. Why? Didn't I say the right side up was where the letters at the bottom of it? Yeah, don't mess up. No, it's just USBs and CDs.
Oh my God.
No, just classroom, got space. Yeah. All right. Show me with your fingers how comfortable you are with these by now. We should have everybody at 5 or 10 or something like that, right? All right. So with that said, on the top, no. From there, we went to this one yesterday. Look up, please. And we said, don't copy this, just pay attention. We said in order to write an equation given the slope and y-intercept, what do we do first, Brian? Y equals mx plus b. And then from there, Kelsey? B would be 4, and m would be 1 over 4. We bring everything down, and we're done. Yes? And then from there, what if, and I said before you left, what if I was to say without graphing, check to see if 0, 2 is on the line. Remember that? So we're given an equation and we're giving that. Do you see the values for these? This is an x and this is a, so tell you what do you do with that and that? Substitute, that is correct. So instead of x, what do I write, everyone? 0, and instead of y, we write 2. So therefore this is 1/4 times 0 plus 4. This is 2 equals, 1/4 times 0 is 0 plus 4. 2 equals 4, is that correct? No, so this is not on the line. Any questions up to right there? And we did some of these yesterday, right? So now check this out. From here on, we're moving on. Since these are like too easy. Let's go to funner ones, yes? Yay. On the top right of your paper, go to the far right, to the corner, copy this one, example 3A. Example 3A. Write the instructions. It says, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form where slope is 2 and 3, 4 is on the line. Copy that. Only copy. I'm going to go over it because there's some missing information. All right? All right. Okay, so we're missing information, so writing utensils down. I'm going to go over this one just to make sure that we see, you see what I see. Let me get a graphing paper here, top of this, okay? So check this out. So you're just paying attention to this part. Here we go. It says write an equation. So what is the first step, Brian? mx plus b. So our very first step is always to write our slope-intercept form. Is that correct? Okay. So what information do we need to write our equation? We need a slope and our y-intercept. So right now you're just paying attention. You'll copy at the end. Write your utensils down, please. So, do they give us a slope? Yes. What is the slope? 2. Do they give us the y-intercept? Does it say y-intercept? No. So there's a dilemma. We need the y-intercept. However, what do they give us? An x and a y value. So check this out. What can I do with the x and the y value? Substitute. If I bring everything else down, I'm going to be solving for which variable? B. This becomes 4 equals 6 plus B. To solve for B, I subtract 6. And I'm left with negative 2 equals B. Do we have now enough information to write our equation? Yes. So we write y equals, instead of m, what do I write? 2x plus, instead of b, what do I write? Negative 2, and we can rewrite this as 2x minus 3. Copy that, please. Piece of cake? Fairly simple, right? Write that down, please. Once you're finished copying this, graph your line right next to that. Yep. You're welcome. All right, let's see. You're graphing. Here it goes again. What do we need from here? The y-intercept, which is what? Negative 2. What else do we need to plot points? Our slope, which is 2 over 1. It's right here, which means I go 2 steps up, 1 to the right, plot your point, do it again. 2 steps up, 1 to the right, plot my point, do it again. 2 steps up, 1 to the right, plot my point, do it again. 2 steps up, 1 to the right, plot my point, graph my line. And if you got that by yourself, okay? So the graphing is only practice. So the part that I want us to really get solid is this part. Let's see if we got it. To write an equation given this information, first thing we write is what? Oh, sorry. We write our slope-intercept form. Do we know that one? Yes. What is the second thing that we did? We substitute all values, which is the slope and the x and the y. What is the third thing we did? We solved for b. What is the last thing we did on 4? We substitute the slope and the y-intercept to write our equation. And at the end, we graph. We got this? Yes, Mr. Q, we love these. All right. So then go to the bottom right and copy this next one, please. See if you can do this one by yourself. I'm sorry? You what? What? Example 3Q. Write this down. Let's do slope negative 3 and crossing through the point 2, 3. So I'll give you a little bit of a heads up. I'll give you 1 minute. Yes? Write me an equation in slope-intercept form first, and then from there, graph it. Ready, go. All right, let's see. What is the first thing we write, Brian? And so we got that. Yes. Second step, substitute any values given. What do they give us? The slope, which is negative 3. What else do they give us? The x value, which is 2, and the y value, which is 3. Bring everything else down, and we're going to solve for b. So this is 3 equals negative 6 plus b. Add 6 to each side. Therefore, we're left with 9 equals b. Do we have now enough information to write our equation? Yes. Y equals negative 3x plus 9. Hands if you got that. All right. And to graph it, we start where? 9, which is up here. And what is our slope? Remember, it has to be in fraction form, so it's negative 3 over 1. So it's 3 down, 1 to the right. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right, plot your point, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right, plot your point, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right, plot your point, graph your line. And once again, once you have at least 3 to 4 points, you can graph your line. I don't want to see that you're only using 2 points or whatever the case. So please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. Yeah. All right, hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, good. Show me with your fingers how come you are up to right there. Okay, we got some 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4s, 5, 4s, 10, my bad. So we need manicures, all right? All right. So we're done with the simple stuff. Let's go to the funner stuff. Yes? Yes. Turn your paper over, and we're going to the bigger graphs. And once again, the right side up is when they have the little words at the bottom of the coordinate plane. Jesse, you good? You good? You good? All right. So we're going to start at the top right. I'm sorry, top left. Top left. Copy this next one, please. Oh, not that one, sorry. That's the easy one. Copy this one. Yes, write the whole thing, please. At the top left, it says, example super mega cube. Damn. It reads, write a slope-intercept form equation for the line with the given slope that contains the given points. 2, 3, and 5, negative 3. Copy that. I'll give you 40 seconds. All right, writing utensils down. You'll finish copying at the end. Please, pretty please, stay with me on this one. Please, your full attention to the screen. It's a long process, but I want you to make sure you understand the entire process. So writing utensils down, you'll copy at the end. Yes? All right, here we go. Writing utensils down. Okay, here we go. It says, write a slope-intercept form equation for the line with a given slope that contains a given points. They give us a point. So if they want us to write a slope-intercept form equation, what is the first thing I do, Ryan? Y equals mx plus b. Are we there so far? So far so clear, right? What information do we need to write the rest of our equation? We need a slope and we need a y-intercept. However, do they give us a slope? Do they give us a y-intercept? No. So the first part that I'm going to start with is slope. I'm thinking, how can I get the slope if they give me 2 points? You're like, I can plot them and count the steps. No, but I don't want them graphed. What's another way, think about it, of getting the slope without graphing? M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Don't copy that yet. I'll let you copy at the end. Let me show you the process. Who remembers the formula? Yes, when we started with slope? All right, so check this out. So what that means that I have to do m equals blank minus and minus and substitute values. Is that correct? So how do I know which one is which? Well, this one I'm going to label x sub 1, y sub 1. This one I'm going to label x sub 2, y sub 2. Are we there so far? All right, so let's see. What is y sub 2? Negative 2. No, negative 3, sorry. What is y sub 1? Positive 3, all right. What is x sub 2? 5. What is x sub 1? 2. Let's see what we get. Negative 3 and negative 3, that's negative 6. What is 5 minus 2? 3. So what is negative 6 divided by 3? Negative 2. Therefore, my slope is negative 2. So that goes where? Right there. Okay. Now, on the previous problem, we had the slope in 1 point, didn't we? So basically, to find b, what do we need to substitute now? An x and a y. Do we have that? Yes. Either this one or this one. Does it matter which? No, because both points are on the line. Or which one would be the easiest to substitute? 2 and 3, because they're all positives, right? So instead of x, we'll go there, 2, and instead of y, we'll go there, 3. I bring everything else down, solve for b. So this is 3 equals negative 4 plus b. So at the end, add 4, we're left with 7 equals b. Do I have now enough information to write my equation? Yes, I have a slope and I have a y-intercept, so my equation is y equals negative 2x plus 7. Copy that, please. Damn. All right, let me go over the process one more time. Let's see. We did, we started first by given the slope and the y-intercept, yes? And we know how to substitute that in here and write our slope-intercept form equation, yes? From there, we were given one without the y-intercept, but with a point. What did we do? We wrote our slope-intercept form, substituted the slope, the x and the y, solved for b, and now we were able to write our equation. Is that correct? And then graph our line at b. And lastly, we were given one without the slope, but they gave us 2 points. Are we there? So these 2 points, since we don't have a slope or y-intercept, we needed to find the slope first by using the formula. Given these 2 points, found the slope, substitute that in there. And then we took the values of x and y of either points. We could have used the second one, but I used the first. Solve for b. And now since I have a slope and a y-intercept, I was able to write my equation. Do we know how to graph our line from here? Yes. So for tonight, once again, our home play was posted, which was there. There is tutoring today. If I don't see you in tutoring, see you guys tomorrow. Your home plate. Bye. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. There's a home plate. This number didn't appear earlier. All right. Bye.